What's up guys, AC Card Shark back again, back with a long-awaited eBay unboxing. It's been a while since I ordered off of eBay. Obviously with the baby coming and everything else, I had expenses to take care of and everything else, so I decided to spend some of my gaming budget on some eBay purchases. So as you can see, I do have a nice sized box right here from eBay, and blacked out my address obviously, but let's see, as you can see here, it is from Japan. So it's air-mailed internationally directly from Japan. So you know I added to my Japanese collection. That's an obvious thing. We're going to take out the scissors and bust this thing open. And I'm going to show you what's inside. So let me bust this thing open and I will be right back to you. Alright guys, we're back. I busted the box open. I'm going to show you, give you a peek inside, nicely wrapped. This is from the seller Hit Japan off of eBay. Highly recommend them, guys. The shipping is expensive to at least to the States here because it is from Japan, and Japan Post does charge a lot of money for airmail. But it got here within a week or so, and well packaged, as you can see. So I'm just going to start unwrapping. There's a lot of games, most of the games I know what they are. Obviously I can tell you the English versions of them. There's a couple I didn't, they just looked interesting, so I picked them up. Again, I'll put the title on the bottom here and it'll pop up for you on those games that I don't remember exactly what the title is because it's all straight Japanese. But yeah, let's bust into this. Now they have, you know, their games basically individually wrapped, which is really cool. It's going to take me a little bit of extra time probably to get into them, but that's a good thing because obviously you want to make sure that they're well packaged and they don't get damaged on the way over to you. So upon opening this first, someone's calling me. I don't know who it is. Someone's calling. Anyway, don't they know I'm recording for the internet here? Anyway, so I'm going to bust open the first combo of games here. It's two Super Famicom games. The first one that I come across is Super Tetris 3. As you know, on the North American consoles, we had Tetris 1 and 2 on the NES. I don't know if there really is a comparable Tetris 3 for the Super Nintendo in America. I'm not really as well schooled in the Super Nintendo collection. But as soon as I saw Super Tetris 3, I had to pick that up. Just because Tetris is always a winner, and if I can get every different version of Tetris, I would definitely be a happy guy. So picked up Super Tetris 3, and then the second game that was in that package was again for the Super Famicom. I'm really ultra stoked about this one. At least in Japan, it's called Super Donkey Kong. This is Donkey Kong Country basically for the Super Nintendo. But Super Donkey Kong, I just love the fact that it has them on there and it has all the Japanese writing. I just think that's going to be an awesome platformer to bust out on the Super Famicom. So, ultra stoked to have that one. So that was that. And then we've got, as you can see, a nice boatload in this package here. Going to split that one open and start going through that. It looks like a mixture of a couple of different systems. Let's see if I can get this bubble wrap off of here. Like I said, really well packaged. Not only that, without giving anything away, they also cellophane wrapped everything inside the bubble wrap. So again, like I said guys, I can't recommend the seller enough. If you are looking for Japan imports, Hit Japan is definitely a good way to go. Their prices are always pretty fair, and a lot of their stuff they actually offer the buy it now or best offer option. So a lot of these games I actually offered them less than what they were asking for and they accepted it. So you know, just to save some money, obviously. I mean, as you guys know, I've always been someone to game on a budget. But on top of that, you know, now with having the baby and stuff, I need to, you know, watch how much I spend. So to save a couple bucks is definitely a help. So let me see, almost have this off here. All right, there we go. Let's see. Again, another Super Famicom title. This is just awesome because I have an American, or a North American, I should say, Game Boy, obviously. I don't have a Japanese Game Boy. I don't have any Japanese Game Boy games. But if I were to get some Japanese Game Boy games, I'd rather play them on the big screen and not on a Game Boy itself. So for that reason, I did pick up a Japanese Super Game Boy. So as you can see, it looks just like the Super Game Boy for the Super Nintendo. But as you can see here, it does have the Super Famicom logo on there. And it says Super Famicom Nintendo around, if that will clear, there you go. Super Nintendo, or I'm sorry, Super Famicom Nintendo. So Super Game Boy for the Super Famicom, which, you know, all the times I go up to Lucky Fun Time, they carry a lot of Japanese imports, and if I happen to find a Japanese import game for the Game Boy, I can now play it. So I thought that was really, really awesome. I think that was $5, honestly, which is awesome. The rest of that cellophane package is all Famicom games for the 8-bit Famicom, and one is a cartridge. The rest of them, the rest of them are for the disc system, the Famicom disc system, which I've been looking to add to that collection, so I was able to do that. The first one I picked up, the cartridge game, I'm really ultra stoked about because I don't have this for the Nintendo yet because it usually is pretty expensive. It's one of the ones I'm missing out of my Mega Man collection. But that game is Rockman 5, otherwise known as Mega Man 5. That's the most rare Mega Man game in North America for that system. I have not picked that game up yet, only because of the fact that it is pretty expensive when you find it, and I haven't found it for the right price just yet. So I did pick up Rockman 5, so that way I can at least play Mega Man 5 in its original form. There's the back there, nice and clean. It's got all the Japanese writing on it. Nice clean cartridge. I love the Japanese cartridges, the colors that they use. If you look over, which eventually you will on a room tour, on my Japanese shelf, it just has all these multiple colors of games and stuff. It's pretty cool. So Rockman 5, awesome pickup. And then the rest of the games I picked up were for the disc drive. A couple of them are completely complete. Some of them just have their hard cases, but I always want to make sure I get them with their hard cases with the cover art because I like the cover art on them. So the first one I come across here is called Famicom Grand Prix F1 Race, and that has Mario there on the cover. And as you can see right there, Famicom Grand Prix Race. And then if you look at the back side here, you've got all the Japanese writing and everything else. There's your disc with the label, which has, you know, what it has on there. And you know, if you open it up, it's basically just the disc and just the cover art. So this is what I would consider the non-complete version, basically, but it is complete with cover art, which is, like I said, what I'm looking for. And eventually I'd like to get one of those old school 3.5-inch, back when computers used 3.5-inch discs, they had the computer like disc holders. I want to try to get one of those and pretty much put my Famicom disc drive games in that as a holder, which I thought would be pretty cool. The next three that I picked up, I don't remember the titles. Again, these are the ones that will be down below. These are just some Japanese games that look like a fun time. This game, I looked up gameplay on YouTube, and it looks basically like a like an RPG type game, which I won't be able to play unless I could read Japanese, but I just loved the look of the game, and it was cheap enough to pick up. It says right here, here's the cover art. It says Little Computer People. I don't know if that's the exact title. Like I said, I will put the title down below for you guys to check out. But as you can see, there's the cover art. I just thought the characters looked like fun. And if I hadn't gotten this with the cover art, obviously this is all you'd be looking at right here. And it does say Little Computer People, but it's a little bit tougher to just know the difference between the Japanese games. So I always want to make sure I get the cover art there. So I did pick up that one. This game here, I forget the title again, but this one looks like, from the gameplay footage I saw, looks like a platformer type game, which you wouldn't have to read the Japanese for, so it should be fun. Again, here's the cover art. The title should be popping up for you down below. I'll just copy it straight off of my auction right into the video for you. And again, this is a prime example of it. This is actually made by Square, which is kind of cool. But there's your disc right there. I would have no idea what game that was if I didn't have the cover art for it. So another major reason why I do like the cover art. Now this game here, again, just in its hard case here, but I remember this one being a game having to do with the Titanic. And I'm a huge fan of anything Titanic. I just love that whole story. Not the fact that people died, but just the whole thing just fascinates me. And this game, basically, I know it has something to do with Titanic. Again, the title will pop up below. As you can see, there's the ship going down right there. But it is like an adventure game having to do with the Titanic. And there's your disc label right there, nice and complete. So that's that. And then the last of the games, I think I should... Yeah, I know what all these games are, so that's pretty cool. All right, we'll go with that. This game here is completely complete in its box, instructions, everything. I got this for $1.25. I remember that because it was an auction and I just happened to land it really cheap. But this is basically just a generic ping pong game. There's the Japanese writing. It's just a generic Nintendo ping pong game. But as you can see, it is in like a box, so to speak. So these are the complete in box titles. And as you can see, it's got the Famicom disc card seal on there. And it still has a barcode on there, everything, and there's your label. So there's a ping pong game for the Famicom. The next one up is actually, I believe, a sequel to it's a sequel actually to that F1 race game I just showed you. This one happens to be complete in box. There's no seal on this one. It's a little discolored, but again, not really that big of a deal. It's Famicom Grand Prix 2, but this one's called 3D Hot Rally. And it's got Mario and Luigi in like a off-roading, like a four-wheeler. And it's a different type of racing game. Again, just interested to try it out. It is complete. So the hard case that you saw in the other games is inside here with the disc, but then also has like the full box on it, which is pretty cool. The last two Famicom games I picked up, they are just in the hard case, not complete, but just ultra stoked to have them. This game, you can just tell by the art what this game is, and that is Kid Icarus for the disc drive. Kid Icarus, just awesome game in general, but just to have Kid Icarus on the Famicom, the label is ultra cool. It's got him on there and everything else. So Kid Icarus for the Famicom disc drive. And then this one here, this one usually carries a huge price tag on it because it's so sought after. And I was able to pick it up under 20 bucks, I want to say. I think it was more like 10 something, or 10 or 12, something like that. But that game is The Legend of Zelda. And that one actually says the Hyrule Fantasy. I'm not sure if it's the exact same game or not, but it is a Zelda game. I believe it is Zelda 1. Don't quote me on that because I haven't played it yet, but all I know is that I found a Zelda game complete with its artwork, and it was ultra cheap compared to what it usually goes for. So I was able to pick up the Hyrule Fantasy Legend of Zelda for the Famicom disc drive system. So that was that package. And then I have two more games left, and we'll call it a wrap. Like I said, usually when I order from them, because shipping is so expensive, I usually have to order a bunch of games just to make sure that I get the most for my money as far as the shipping is concerned. So that's why this unboxing tends to be pretty lengthy and a lot of games, because I don't want to put an order in for one game. I usually will do multiple. So these last two games I got are complete in box. And there are more. One of them is to play. One of them is just a collectible. The first one is for the Super Famicom. As you guys know, I'm a huge fan of the Final Fight series. You know, I love Final Fight. I love any version of Final Fight I can get my hands on. If you remember back a while ago, I had Final Fight, the original Final Fight, complete in box from Hit Japan in the Japanese version for Super Famicom. I was able to find for a cheap price Final Fight 2, and that is complete in its original box and everything else. All the complete artwork right here. The box is in really, really good shape. As you can see, Super Famicom. If you look at the side right here, Final Fight 2. As you can see, the box is just in great condition. And then on the back here, you've got all the Japanese writing with the screenshots and everything right there. So there's your Japanese version of Final Fight 2 complete in box. After I'm done, I will cut and then actually show you the insides of that. And in the last game, this is the main reason I started to make an order with them, because I found this game and I got it for 17 bucks complete in box. I remember that because it was a best offer. They originally wanted $28 and I was able to get it for $17.50, I think it was. This game goes for a lot of money on the North American consoles, especially complete in box. Now, the Japanese writing, I'm not going to have to really worry about because I know how to play this game inside and out. It's for the Japanese Nintendo 64. I do not have a Japanese Nintendo 64, but I am in the middle of modding my American 64 to play Japanese games. The picture says it all, guys. I'm just so stoked to be holding this game. It is Harvest Moon 64. Complete in its original box for the Japanese Nintendo 64. Artwork is just absolutely amazing. If you look at the spine here, you've got all the artwork and everything else. And then if you look at the back, You've got all the different screenshots. As you can see, it is the same as the North American version, all the same graphics and everything else, just obviously in Japanese. As you can see, there's the Japanese there. But like I said, I don't really feel I'm going to need to read it because I played the American version so much that I know how to play the game. So I should be able to get through this with no problem. But just to have it complete in box in the condition that it's in, absolutely just so stoked to have this in my collection. It will be on display up in my game room. This is not a shelf game. This is definitely a display game. So I'm going to cut the video. That's the last of the pickups. I'm going to cut the video and I will show you the contents of the two complete in box games, and then we'll call it a wrap. So let's cut to that right about now. Alright guys, so we're back. I took everything out of their boxes. As you can see, here's the empty box of Harvest Moon 64. Here's the instruction manual. Try to get the glare off of there. It's not in the most pristine of conditions. Like, the pages are a little bit bent, but not a big deal. Again, the fact that it is complete is just awesome. And then if you come up here, you see the cartridge, and there is the cartridge for Harvest Moon 64 on the Japanese Nintendo 64, and still in its cellophane plastic, and still has the plastic tray, as you can see right here, that goes in the box. So just awesome that it's complete like that. And then the other game, Final Fight 2, as you can see, there's the empty box right there. You've got your instruction booklet, which again, it has, you can tell it's been read, it's been used. It's got some marks on the spine here to show that someone has opened it up. It's got a little bit of some bending on the pages. But here's the cartridge, pristine, no writing, no nothing, still in its baggie, and still has the plastic tray with that as well. So just an overall win with these complete in box games. Some of my favorites, just had to have them in my collection. So Harvest Moon 64 right there, you got Final Fight 2 right there, and then you've got the stack of games I just went through and showed you. So that's going to wrap up this eBay unboxing, guys. Overall, huge win from Hit Japan over in the land of the rising sun over there in eBay. So like I said, guys, you know, absolute recommendation if you're looking for some Japanese products. Definitely hit them up. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it. Till next time, AC Card Shark. Take care.